Anchorman Jason Ott here, and we're talking with words with Steve Olszewski from Stealth Acoustics. Steve, welcome.
Nice to be here, Jason. Nice to see you.
Tell us about Stealth Acoustics. Tell us the DNA of the company.
Wow, it's been an amazing ride, Jason. It's been 15 years of Stealth Acoustics, predicated on now 43 years of being a system integrator. And that system integration DNA is what informs everything we do as a manufacturer, from the products that we bring to market, to how we treat our customers, to just the way that we think and act. We behave as system integrators. So we like to say that our products are made by system integrators for system integrators.
That makes a big difference. I think that the integrators can really relate, and you know the pains that they're going through on a daily basis.
Yes, and one of the most enjoyable comments I've received has been, not only do you make great products, but you're a great company to do business with. And when you're on the reverse side of that, and you see many manufacturers that are on this floor come in your door, you've seen a broad gamut of how businesses can succeed and do it right, and quite frankly, how some businesses, some manufacturers, maybe not so good. So when we know that, and a dealer, needs a product overnight, or has an installation that's, that has an issue that they need to resolve, we're very responsive to that, because what would it be like if the roles were reversed? And they have been. And so if we called the manufacturer on our integration side and said we need help, we'd really appreciate having somebody call us back quickly, give us good information, help us solve the problem, and then deal with maybe any back office stuff. So being a system integrator is just wonderful, and it allows us to understand these people, and that's fun.
Let's talk a little bit about product.
Yes.
Tell me about the LRX series.
The LRX is our 7th generation of product in the 15 years we've been to market. The LRX 83 is our latest product, and it is an outgrowth of our patented technology. We are known in the invisible speaker space as really the only company that can make true bass response out of an invisible speaker solution. So we've been developing on this patented technology for 15 years, and the LRX 83 allowed us to put just a new combination of drivers into a 3-way 8-inch invisible speaker, use some advanced materials inside, special dampening, these are engineering details, and come out with a speaker that not only retails for $14.99 very cost effectively a pair, but also that you can put up against a well-heeled architectural visible speaker. And with the LRX 83, we think it can perform certainly equal, probably superior to most offerings out there.
Another exciting product, the Image 3 subwoofer. Tell us about that.
Oh, that was just sweet. The whole focus of being here was the LRX 83. And of course, we want to make as much expression of that product. We decided just on a whim, quite frankly, we had developed an on-wall subwoofer. Low profile, 2.5-inch, about 24-inch tall by about 16-inch wide, flat front, no grill, artistically paintable, wallpaperable subwoofer with dual 8-inch woofers in it, based on our in-wall invisible subwoofer called the B30. So we entered that just to see, and lo and behold, we win CE Pro Best Awards for the best new speaker of the show. I'll just be candid, it's not our first award, and we're probably the only guys in that category that's got a nice trophy case in our offices with some beautiful awards, and we're really excited about adding this new one to that family.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the importance of the core and the design, and how much it's become so much of an influence for integrators, and you with the invisible speaker. Tell us kind of what you're hearing from integrators. Obviously you're talking to them on a daily basis, and you're integrators yourselves. How important that invisible speaker option has become for them.
Yeah, very important. One of our taglines, one of our trademark taglines is the end of aesthetic pollution. And what we realized is that technology is becoming just more and more complex. People's lives are becoming more and more complex. And technology is in their face, and quite frankly, technology is quite harsh. So the idea of taking that technology and receding it back behind the lifestyle and bringing form out how people want their rooms and their environments to look and to feel. That's number one, and that's an incredibly powerful driver. And the fact that we can go into a space and say, how do you want your environment to be? If you want it to look like this, we can enhance that either through special coverings or painting or wallpaper or finishes on our devices. And we can integrate the technology behind the aesthetic look of the device, or excuse me, of the space. The other part of that, and this is good for integrators, is the fact that when you take the architectural community and bring it into your space, you're bringing in a whole new level of stakeholders. You're bringing in the people that actually probably have the earliest insight to what a home is going to look like, and quite frankly, they probably have one of the strongest influences of what will go in that home or not. And system integrators sometimes are the first building remodelers in a new home. And the idea of being able to integrate the technology with the aesthetic outcomes right at the design phase is extremely powerful, not just for the outcome, but for the relationships that can be developed. Because if you bring an architect into the equation, an interior designer, and rather than conflict with them and work in synergy with them, you make friends and they become advocates for what you do rather than, well, I'd prefer if you would do something else.
Right.
That's very powerful.
And all this comes kind of around because it enables them to, the trend obviously being away from necessarily dedicated theaters to general purpose rooms and bonus rooms and those sorts of things where they're doing more than just watching movies, but you're bringing that theater into other parts of the home.
Yeah, good sound is good sound.
Yeah.
And immersive sound is something we're seeing more and more of. And the dispersion characteristics of our speakers are extremely immersive. And unlike traditional speakers, our response across the axis of response is very even. So we can fill a room very nicely, and with our subwoofer capabilities, we can do impactful bass. So now, good sound can exist in a distributed system and be invisible, but we talk about bringing the home back into home theater. And dedicated home theaters have their place, they're way cool, but the ability to have that type of performance where you really get the panorama and spaciousness, the depth of soundstage, the left-right panning sense of things across the visual stage of your display or your projection system. And then put that into an environment where you sit down and do that without having to create a dedicated experience, without having to fire up the popcorn machine and turn on the lights. You just sit down after dinner, decide which movie you want to put on, you put it on, and now you have a stunning home theater experience in your home.
You might be saving a lot of marriages and you don't know about it.
Well, we didn't invent it, but the wife acceptance factor. And our best dealers lead with our product. And they realize that when you're building a new home, that there's at least two stakeholders usually, and they have differing opinions many times about what the home could be. I know that when I built my new home about 15 years ago, my wife and I had a lot of discussions about how the home was going to look versus how it was going to sound, if you know what I mean. So the ability to come in and satisfy the aesthetic needs right up front, and to explain, do you like speaker grills? Do you want to see speaker grills? Some people don't care, but if that is an issue, you can take that off the equation, very, very quickly, and then move on to a better result. So you get buy-in rather than quandary. You become a solution provider rather than a marriage counselor, I guess, at some level. And we obviously support that and engender that through our aesthetic appeal.
All right, Steve Olszewski, Stealth Acoustics, thanks for joining us on Talking with Words.
My pleasure. Enjoyed it very much. Thank you.